Hello everyone, this is Arrow, and welcome back to Sundown Moon Up Podfics. Today we'll be continuing Fuck Bullies by RandomWeirdCat, Chapter 20. Izuku was curled up on the bed with Spinner sitting next to him. You gave us all a good scare. I mean, we all were worried about you, but hell, we can't trust those fakes. We captured a guy, yeah. Spinner runs a scaled hand through his hair and glances at the side. Izuku looks up at Spinner. You took someone? He jumps up. The cuffs around his wrist pulled him down for a second. Spinner raises his hands. I was against us taking him too. Spinner sighs. He takes off his mask and places it in his lap. I'm starting to think Stain was wrong. A real hero wouldn't put that much pressure on someone. I heard Stain saved you. Maybe he knew. I don't know, and I'm confused about this whole thing. Izuku slumps back into the bed. His damp hair sticks to his forehead, a little from the shower earlier. It's okay to be confused. Spinner throws his head back and laughs. I'm supposed to be the one comforting you, not the other way around. I don't need comforting. I'm okay. The scars tell another story. Spinner reaches out and pats his damp curls. Compress said you liked talking about quirks. He said you gave a list of all the ways he could be a good hero. Izuku's cheeks burn and he bites the inside of his cheek. He said he didn't mind. He doesn't. He couldn't stop talking about it after, but I just wanted to ask if you wanted to talk about quirks with me. Or we could talk more about Stain. Or could we talk about All Might? Spinner's last question made him jolt, and he nervously looks around the empty room. Well, why do you want to talk about All Might? Spinner shrugs. I heard some rumors that you and him were close at UA. I just wanted to know what he's like. Izuku thinks about all the things he could and couldn't talk about. Well, All Might's really nice. He tries his best to be a good teacher. I don't think he really needs to try. He's amazing and he helps me and my class. We all work hard with him around inspiring us. Izuku didn't want to start mumbling or rambling. He might accidentally say something he'll regret later. Spinner nods. He leans back in his chair and looks up at the roof. Does he ever push you harder than normal? What? Shigaraki's dad said that your quirk and All Might's quirk are similar, and that he might push you harder than the others because of that. Spinner jumps like he remembered something. Not Dad. I don't know if he's his dad. We all thought Kirigiri was his dad, but we don't know that either. Well, they might be. Izuku snorts. It seems Spinner liked to ramble as well. All Might helps me learn how to control my quirk. He gives me tips, but he doesn't push me too much. I need to train harder. His chest tightens and tries to breathe, but pain shoots over his heart. I saw you on TV. You broke bones like it was nothing. And those bursts of power. I'm sorry. I didn't want to bring up anything to stress you out more than you already are. Spinner smiles and began folding his mask into origami. I'm not stressed. The door creaks open and All for One steps through. Spinner stands up so quickly that the chair falls back. He fumbles to catch it and a few strands of his purple hair fall in front of his face. Hello, All for One walks forward, leaving. Thank you for watching him. Spinners opens his mouth to ask what he was doing, but gulps instead. Bye, Izuku. Spinner runs out with his head bowed. He glances over his shoulder at Izuku and kept opening and closing his mouth. Are you? Goodbye. Red and black tendrils shoot out and slam the door shut. Izuku flinches at the slam and stares at the mask. That was rude. I'll apologize later. Alphorn reaches his hand on and lays it on Izuku's cheek. He stops and turns towards the door. He raises his hand and the door flies open. Toga and Spinner fall to the ground. Owie! Toga yells. She gets off of Spinner and helps him up. Spinner bares his teeth. Oh, come on! All for One shook his head. Go, and stop being nosy. That's rude. All for One walks over and the other two back up. He grabs the doorknob and shuts it. Go check on the others. I heard Dobby tried to go to the dorms before he left. Toga yelled through the door. Alrighty, boss man. All for one waits a few more seconds. He sighs and chuckles. Out of everyone Tomura could have found. He turns back to Izuku. He makes his way to his side and kneels down. Has One for All or Ashi talked to you? Izuku shook his head. No. All for one unlocks the cuffs around his wrists and sets them aside. All for one places his hand on Izuku's hand. All Might's given you One for All, and he most likely expects you to become the new symbol of peace, correct? Yes. Izuku's mouth was moving on its own. He reaches up with his other hand and tries to cover his mouth. I can't imagine how much pressure that puts on someone so young. Are you worried you'll disappoint All Might? Izuku's hands move down and his mouth just keeps going. I'm very stressed. I haven't been getting a lot of sleep at night because I keep trying to train and not break my bones. I'm worried All Might's chosen the wrong person to be his successor because I'm not good enough and I'm weak. Izuku's eyes cloud with tears. All for one lets go of him and backs away as if he was burned. I didn't mean that. That's not true. Izuku yells out. All Might couldn't have chosen a better successor if he tried. You are the perfect person to have One for All, and you are anything but weak. You will make a great hero. You will probably even be able to beat me in the future, though All Might has rushed everything. All for one reaches out again. Izuku stares up at the ominous mask. I'm pathetic. I don't deserve this quirk. So many people have helped me get this far, and I just feel like I'm going to... Izuku doesn't get to finish talking. Strong arms wrap around him in a tight hug. He tenses and feels the cold mask press against his cheek. I'm so sorry, All for one said in a hushed tone. He kneels more into the ground and holds Izuku's head. The world has done so much to you, and those damn heroes and adults just let this happen. I'm also to blame, since All Might worried I might return. No child should be broken. All for one raises a hand, and a burst of pressure slams into the door. The door flies open, and Tomura, Dabi, and Toga all stood in the doorway. Dabi puts his hands in his pockets and turns and walks away. Toga grabs him by his collar and stops him. Tomura takes his hand off his face and began messing with the fingers. Sensei. All for one sends another burst of pressure, and the three slide back and away from the door. I told all of you that what I'll be doing today. There's no reason for any of you to be eavesdropping. Dabi glares. And we told you we don't think he's ready. He's not stable enough, and he's just going to snap. All for one's hand clenches, and suddenly wind is hitting Izuku in a gentle breeze. He's already snapped and broken. This is necessary. I can't just simply fix him with a magic wand and make everything better with no negative outcomes. As healthy as that would be, I wish I could. As unhealthy as that would be, I wish I could. But he needs to realize. All for one pats Izuku's hair. His hand warms up and Izuku whimpers. Dabi takes a step forward. Tomura places a hand on his shoulder with an index finger raised. Let's go. But Dabi brushes Tomura's hand off him. But... Toga hugs his warm arm. I can't say Izu will be okay because this is going to be tough. But we'll be back when it's over. We'll give him all the hugs he needs. She starts pulling him away. Tomura walks in the doorway and reaches for the doorknob. We just got him back. Don't you think it's too soon? Tomura's red eyes locked onto Izuku. We don't know what the future holds. Who knows if we'll get this chance again, All for one said. Izuku takes his shot and tries to jump out of the bed and towards Tomura. Tomura jumps forward as if to catch him, but All for one wraps his arms around Izuku and held him. Tomura, go! Shigaraki slams the door and they heard loud footsteps running away. Now, let's continue. All for one lets go of Izuku. His hand still lingers behind the boy's head. Izuku sinks into the bed and shook. What did... Izuku mumbles his words. The hand pats his wild curls. An old quirk. I used it on you to understand a few things. All for one dusts off his knees. But I don't... Izuku didn't understand. Sorry again. It's a force of habit. I don't like waiting for answers, and I can be quite impatient, like Tomura sometimes. Alphonse's hand drifts to Izuku's cheek. I didn't mean those words. I'm not stressed or worried. I've got it under control. I can... Alphonse kneels again. Your mental health is injured severely. I haven't come across someone this damaged since I found little Tomura. I honestly don't know which of you is worse now. With his abuse and your abuse, I can't manipulate you into believing me because you are just too smart for that. I don't want to force you to believe me either. You need to stop denying that you have issues. A bright light blinds Izuku. He scrambled back into the bed when he heard an explosion go off against his ear. He reaches up and grasps Alphonse's hand. What? Breathe. Alphonse's voice fades and darkness surrounds Izuku. His eyes were still open, though. He panics and struggles against the darkness. Whispers of comfort soothe his struggle. Izuku blinks and stares at the ground in front of him. All for One was gone. There were no heroes, no league. It was just him, and a cry makes him freeze. He turns his head and sees Toika getting pushed into the ground. His legs move without hesitation, and he stood in front of the attacker. Kacchan stares back at him with surprise. Deku, get out of the way! Small explosions go off in his palm. Izuku spreads his arms out. No, this is mean, Kacchan. We're playing hero, Deku. He's the villain, so he gets beat up. Get out of the way. You're quirkless and can't do anything. Izuku gulps. You're going too far. He's crying. He isn't playing anymore. Kacchan, please. An explosion goes off in his face. He falls back. Toika scrambles back and stares at him with wide eyes. The boy had a 5-finger quirk. He could touch someone and they get really dizzy for a few seconds. Stupid Deku. You always get in the way. Quirkless losers like you can't do anything. Izuku screams as more explosions go off against his skin. His shirt rips and his pants are covered in dirt as he got thrown around. He screams and screams until his throat is raw and his eyes sting. The tears kept coming with every hit. Kacchan was ruthless. He didn't care that Izuku was crying or bleeding. Toika ran away the second Kacchan and his friends started attacking Izuku. They attacked him for the next 2 hours. Izuku laid on the ground, staring at the sky with red puffy eyes as his lip quivers. Kacchan left with his friends. They laughed and laughed. Everyone walked past him while he cried and screamed. No one came to help him. Where's the adults? Where's the heroes? Where's All Might? He was alone. The sun started going down and he finally gets off the ground. Rocks stick to his bloody skin. Izuku stumbles down the road until he's home. He walks in and hears his mom scream. Inko complains to the principal and they said they'll fix this. That was the last time Inko did anything to help him. Izuku opens his eyes with a cry. He sees All for One once again. That's when it started. The bullying and abuse all started there. You were 4. This happened 3 months after your birthday. Izuku opens and closes his mouth. Tears were rushing down his red, patchy face. It wasn't... Kacchan was just... Let's continue. Alright everyone, that is the end of chapter 20 for Fuck Bullies. It's going to get a lot more intense from here with All for One forcing the memories onto Izuku, and it's going to break him. But I hope you enjoyed listening anyway. I'll see you all soon. Bye.